Yes, people. Too sweet from the finished article. We're here, we're live on the finished article with all things wrestling. And as the title says, has Vince McMahon gone mad? And what's going on with this new NXT logo? So before I get into all of that, I'm gonna bring my boy Shaz on, and we're gonna talk about both of these points, and we're obviously gonna talk a little bit about a couple of other things in wrestling. So here he is, the tag team partner over here on All Things Wrestling, Too Sweet, from my boy. So yeah, Shaz, I'll get all this out the way, bro. I'll get everything out the way before we get into it. So as always, people, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts in the comments about what we've discussed. We have done another draw for the first for the prize for the first 100 subscribers, including everyone up until the day we did the draw, which was, I believe, was it Monday. I've reached out to the new winner, but unfortunately, I've still not heard anything. So it could be round 3 of the draw. We'll see, though. We'll see. Hopefully, they get in touch. Our personal Twitters are here in the corner, and the official Facebook and Twitter of the channel are scrolling across the bottom. So get yourself subscribed to the channel. Follow us on all social media to get the latest updates. And you can watch these videos over on Facebook and on Twitter. They do go live over there as well. But Shaz, so firstly, we're going to get into this, bro. I know you hadn't seen it until earlier today. The new NXT logo.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you give your initial thoughts on it because you've literally just seen it right now about 5 minutes ago. So I'm going to let you give your initial thoughts on it.
I normally don't rant or
Oh dear.
use
I'm muting my mic for this bit.
I don't normally use profanity or say bad things. But bro, seriously, looks like someone had a diarrhea and dumped that all over the logo because that is awful.
It looks like a unicorn talking shit on it, bro.
Yeah, good.
Am I wrong? That looks awful, man. That NXT logo.
That looks so bad.
What direction are they taking NXT in with this new logo?
I don't know.
It looks like they're just taking the mick out of NXT now. Vince McMahon's obviously, we know from obviously our previous discussions, we know Vince McMahon wasn't happy with NXT losing the ratings to AEW on Wednesdays, and that's why they moved to Tuesdays. But does that mean you change the logo? Does that mean you change everything?
You know what I think what's happened? In fact, I'm glad you brought that up. So one of the things Shaz alluded to was NXT's logo plus AEW. So I had to look at AEW's logo, something similar, but not as bad as what we just seen. And I think what Vince has lost sight of the fact is, regardless of the logo, his brand has gone downhill. Now, I think the bigger thing that angers me most, and Shaz will agree with me, well, I hope he does, that this is a show that's being run by Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
I wanted to mention this before, Shaz. I've read some news just before you finish that. So some insight for you. The news is that going forward, Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are going to be heading NXT. All decisions are going to go through Vince and Bruce Pritchard. So though Triple H is there, though Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg and everyone are there, they still now have to answer to Vinnie Mac. And I don't see why this is, and I can see NXT just downhill from here, bro. I used to love NXT, bro, and I still do. I still prefer watching NXT to Raw and SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
Because the storylines are somewhat better. Do you know what I mean? The storylines seem better. They're well planned out on NXT. They last longer. It's like they put more time into it. There are some storylines that I don't like on NXT, but then you're gonna get that everywhere. You're not gonna like everything you see on a show, are you, bro? It's like on Raw and SmackDown. There's probably on SmackDown. There's one storyline that I like, and we all know that it's Roman Reigns and the Usos, the head of the table, the bloodline. I'm digging that storyline. I really do like it. And the other part of SmackDown that I actually watch is Finn Balor. They're the only two that I really watch on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Raw wise, I'm actually digging the whole RK Bro on Raw.
Yeah, that's decent.
I'm actually so when they paired Randy Orton with Riddle, I thought, what the heck are they doing? Like, they're just wasting Randy Orton because he's a 14-time champion or something, and then now they've stuck him with some random guy from NXT because he had nothing else to do for both of them.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really enjoying the tag team. I think the chemistry they have is really good. Like, Randy Orton's vibe it's always the same whether he's in a tag team or not. You never know when he's going to do something sneaky. And obviously we saw that when he returned on Raw a few weeks ago, where he turned on Riddle and then he sided back with him. It was a bit. I still see this going down the route of they'll lose the tag team titles and he turns on him for losing the titles. I can't see it going any other way. And then Randy Orton and Riddle have a feud over a couple of pay-per-views, which I think will be really good. I think they'll have some good matches.
But you know what? Those two have such good chemistry, RK Bro. Or
they do, man. I'm actually really enjoying the promos. I'm enjoying the matches. Something, obviously, I know we're supposed to be talking about the NXT logo and we're going off topic, but we're still talking about wrestling. So the other thing I actually enjoyed this week on Raw was the triple threat match for the US title. I don't know if you caught it.
Yeah.
Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. I thought it was a brilliant match. I really enjoyed that. What I don't like about Raw is the way that they're using Karrion Kross. He's just coming out week after week and beating cruiserweights. That's the only way I can put it. He's beaten what? Ricochet, Jeff Hardy, and this week was Humberto Carrillo. He's just beating people that we know he's going to beat. Bar Jeff Hardy, where he lost his first match on Raw, he's beaten everybody else. And his ring attire, he just looks stupid. Why did they change his look when they brought him to Raw? I don't understand that.
I think the way I can sum it up is that they've effectively lost the guys. I'm going to bring up this comment before I carry on.
Yeah, I was just about to do that, bro.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the support,
Big
bro.
up, Ryan. Appreciate you tuning in again, bro. Appreciate that, bro. Really do, man.
So, yeah, what I was saying was that, Chaz, you just hit the nail on the head. So, on NXT, he was a beast. No one could touch him. He had a good gimmick going. He had his wife there as manager, so it was very imposing. He comes up to Raw for a spontaneous night out because that's what they do in WWE.
It was a spontaneous night on his bloody birthday, bro. He was out for a birthday bash on Raw, innit? And then he got beat by Jeff Hardy.
And I don't think that there was much thought process that went behind the fact that he was brought up. And now the fact that he's fighting cruiserweight just shows you how bad the creative side are, because they just don't know how to use him properly. They're constantly messing him around, and for me, this is a big disappointment. And I think the same goes for the whole of the Raw brand. I mean, SmackDown, I think, is okay right now because you've got the Usos and Roman Reigns, and I think the fact that the if you like, Roman Reigns is like the head of the table, and I think that's why the whole gimmick on Raw and not Raw, sorry, SmackDown is better. So we prefer watching Friday nights. As Shaz said, there are certain parts of Raw that are good, but as a brand, Raw was the flagship show of WWE back in the day. SmackDown is fairly new. I think it came in '99 or something like. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it was '99 or 2000 when they debuted it.
Yeah. Exactly.
That time,
Raw was always the flagship show, and that
exactly.
unfortunately has taken a nosedive quicker than the Twin Towers.
Quicker than Titanic, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you're right though. To me, right now, SmackDown is the flagship show, and that's because it's carrying WWE. That whole Roman Reigns head of the table bloodline storyline is carrying WWE, and it has been for the past year.
Yeah.
Since last SummerSlam last year. If it wasn't for that storyline, the ratings for SmackDown would have tanked so bad. But because they turned Roman Reigns heel, and I think they did it at the right time, it's helped with the ratings on SmackDown. NXT wise, I think I don't know, man. I actually enjoyed Karrion Kross as NXT champion because he was undefeated, right?
Yeah.
But if they were going to have him just lose a random match on Raw, why not have him drop the NXT title to maybe Finn Balor in the match that he had against Finn Balor on Takeover or something, or maybe drop it on an episode of NXT before he goes up to the main roster, because you've just built this guy up for the past 12 months as being untouchable, just like Roman Reigns. And then whilst he's still the NXT champion, whilst he's still untouchable on NXT, you've brought him to Raw just to lose to Jeff Hardy. And that was just so random, bro. There's no planning behind it. And I know within the storyline, they've always said Karrion Kross is nothing without Scarlet, right? But they should have gone ahead and proved he was still the same with or without Scarlet. It wasn't about her being there. It was about him and his ability in the ring. And him losing to Jeff Hardy just shows he needs Scarlet around. And losing to Samoa Joe on NXT TakeOver 36 shows he needs Scarlet around. Without Scarlet, he's losing. He's lost the NXT Championship to Samoa Joe, which I'm happy with. I rate Samoa Joe really highly since TNA days. But it's just the way that they built him up just to ruin him. And they did the same with Bianca Belair, bro. They built her up, then they built her up, and then they made her lose in about 22 seconds to a returning Becky Lynch at SummerSlam.
That was quite shocking, actually.
They did the same thing to Karrion Kross, but his match was just longer against Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe. It's just so bizarre, man, that they would build a character up. It's like, take for instance, I don't know how much of AEW you've caught so far, but Kenny Omega has been the AEW World Champion for a good couple of months now, right? And whilst he's been champion, he has not been pinned. He's not lost a match. I don't think. I can't remember if this is correct, but I don't even think he's lost a tag team match. He's held the AEW tag team. He's held the AEW World Title, and obviously he's with his boys, the Elite. He's got Gallows and Anderson. He's got the Young Bucks. He's got his crew with him, and he hasn't been pinned, bro. Actually, no, sorry. I'm gonna correct myself. He got pinned on Rampage, where he lost the Impact Championship to Christian. That was his first loss in a good couple of months. And that's part of the storyline, because obviously they wanted a shock moment on the first edition of AEW Rampage, and Christian took that. But obviously it was a bit tainted for Christian because a chair was involved. He hit the Imperator on a chair, which he didn't bring into the ring. Obviously, Kenny Omega did that with his boys. But either way, he has been pinned now, and it looks like, I've got a feeling that it's going down the road where Christian takes the AEW championship from him and becomes the new belt collector in AEW. And I'd be really happy with that, because when Christian was originally in WWE, where he was Captain Charisma and all that, I absolutely loved it, man. I loved his gimmick. His mic work was brilliant, especially around the time he had Tom Cole with him. Do you remember Tom Cole? The guy with the goatee, the big guy.
Yeah, I remember.
I actually really like that gimmick and storyline. And it was just a shame that he never became a world champion in WWE until he moved over to TNA and become their Impact champion, or the TNA champion at the time. And then he came back to WWE for a bit, and I think he was the ECW champion for a bit, and then he beat Randy Orton for the world championship. But it took him going somewhere else and proving himself to be a main eventer to then come back to WWE and say, I am a main eventer. Give me the main events that I want. And he got it because he proved it. But he was proving it in WWE. He was his gimmick in TNA in AEW right now is outwork everybody. And he's a workhorse, man. He in ring ability, he's brilliant. There's no one that can outwork Christian.
No, I agree.
In a ring, bro. His work rate is second to none, bro. And And I'm happy that he's won a title now. 7 years out where we thought he was going to never wrestle again. He came back for the Royal Rumble when Edge came back this year. Now, I was really happy to see Edge and Christian back, both of them at the same time. Now, at first, I thought it was a one-off, Christian coming back to get a pop with Edge. I thought it was like, just a one-off. But then after I read about it, Christian's been cleared to wrestle again.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that's amazing. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing. Have him wrestle on SmackDown or Raw, or even go to NXT and help out the younger talent, whichever. And obviously, we knew Edge was going to go for the world title again. And I thought maybe Edge goes for the world title. He has a little title run, or he doesn't, whichever, which obviously we know he hasn't yet. And then after that, he's got nothing. So why not just partnering up with Christian and go for the tag team titles?
Yeah,
they're one of the greatest tag teams WWE have ever had. And to have them come back and fight people like the Usos, who else have we got in the tag team division, man? Even on Raw, you've got the Viking Raiders, Adrian Omos, the New Day, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode on SmackDown. NXT-wise, you had Undisputed Era. You've got Imperium, Fandango, and Tyler Breeze. I think they've been released now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It would have been great to see these type of tag teams go up against Edge and Christian, because I think they could still perform at the highest level in the tag division as well as singles. And I was really upset when WWE didn't sign Christian. I was really upset that I'm not going to say upset. I'm going to say, personally, I would have liked to see him stay in WWE, but I know in WWE, he wouldn't have got the main event. He wouldn't have got the world titles that he wants to get. Obviously, especially coming back after 7 years, he's got some unfinished business.
Yeah.
So he would have wanted to win world championships. Maybe he would have been okay winning a couple of tag team titles with Edge, but he would have obviously wanted to go on to win the heavyweight championship or the universal championship. And obviously WWE probably don't want to put that on him, but they're okay putting it on Goldberg, and they're okay putting it on Brock Lesnar and John Cena and people like that. It's bizarre because I think Christian is more over with the fans than John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Goldberg.
Yeah, I think it's more to do with the commercial aspect of
bullcrap, man. It's just bullcrap.
No, I agree.
But I'm really happy that Christian is now in AEW. He's the Impact heavyweight champion for TNA as part of the Impact and AEW what do you call it, working relationship that they have. They have a cross-brand matches. They have people going here and there, which is brilliant. And obviously New Japan Pro Wrestling's in that as well. But I'm really happy that Christian's got the world championship or a world championship. And I think him beating Kenny Omega at All Out next week on Friday is brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, back to the topic at hand. Let's get back to the NXT logo, because I'm not even surprised WWE would do something stupid enough as to change the whole brand of NXT.
The funny thing is we have jokes on our podcast all the time. It's almost like Vince had to mess the logo up for Shaz to come off and have a rant. He needed to.
Bro, what did I say yesterday? That this show is just about us ranting about WWE.
Yeah.
And for what? We've been on for 20 minutes and we've just been ranting about WWE being crap. And now this whole thing of the new NXT logo, I think it's ridiculous. NXT's identity is the black and gold brand. That's what it's known as. When they came up for the Survivor Series with Raw and SmackDown a few years ago, they were known as the black and gold brand. But now you're taking the identity away from them. It's like you're rebuilding a brand. And you don't need to, because it's a very successful brand in WWE. They don't need to be doing it.
You had the saying, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Bro, how many times have we said that about WWE and storylines and stuff? If it's not broke, don't fix it. We've said that so many times just on this podcast, bro.
Yeah.
Not even in person when we talk about it. We've said it on this podcast several times, bro. And I know we have, because I've said it and you've said it.
Yeah. I think it's disheartening. I'll be honest with you. I need to rant about this.
Go for it, bro. I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you rant. I've had my rant now, bro.
So it's
your turn.
disheartening. It's disheartening to see the company and the brand fall as low as it has. I mean, for myself, and I've been watching AEW, as you're probably all aware, that I did start watching it a few weeks ago. So Shaz recommended I watch it and give my thoughts, which I did. So if you haven't seen that episode, check it out. But
go check that out because his thoughts and everything on it were really good.
That was quite an episode. And then Shaz had to spoil my mood because, not spoil it, but he kind of put me in a conundrum because we watched SummerSlam, was it not last weekend, the weekend before?
Yeah,
and then
10 days ago now,
the best 15 minutes I'd seen when he said, watch this entrance by CM Punk. And I watched that and I was like, I was more entertained in that 15 minutes than I was in the whole 5 hours of watching. Mind you guys, the funniest
see, this is the problem. This is the problem, bro. You've just said it yourself. You were more excited and you were more interested in the 15 minutes of AEW Rampage when CM Punk debuted than you were in the whole of the SummerSlam show. And that's the problem with WWE. 15 minutes of AEW is better than their whole pay-per-view.
In fact, you know, it's so good. I'm going to tune in on 5th of September to watch.
Yeah, next Friday. So it's straight after Rampage. AEW are doing All Out, and that's going to be a show, bro. That's going to be a show. CM Punk versus Darby Allin. I cannot wait for that. Chris Jericho versus MJF. That's going to be another classic. Chris Jericho is just putting out classics at the age of 50, bro. He's a classic himself, and he's putting out classics.
You know what they say, right? Vintage classics never die.
That's it.
Anyway, going back to what I was saying. Sorry.
Go on, bro.
No, jump in, then I'll carry on.
No, I was just going to say, and also you've got the main event that I'm looking forward to, Christian versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. And I think the Young Bucks are defending the tag team titles against, is it the Lucha Bros? I think.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't even watched AEW this week. I haven't watched this week's AEW, so I don't even know who they're facing because I think the finals of the tag team tournament were last night. So it's either Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, or no, I think it was on Rampage. I don't know, man. I'll find out.
Anyway, we're going back to so as I mentioned, I started watching it, and then the company, the brand, the direction they've gone in has been completely shocking. I think, like, if you look at energy wise, if you can get excited by 15 minutes of watching AEW, but you can't muster the energy. No, you know how bad it was, guys. Me and Shaz were doing a podcast on Man United versus Southampton.
We're doing the preview, weren't
we? We're doing this, and instead, Shaz, can you see where my face is right now, where it's looking, the direction? That's what I was doing at his, because I was just watching Becky Lynch come in and do this, and I'm like, really?
I remember now, bro. Yeah, because we thought, right, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, it's going to be a bit boring. We know Bianca Belair is going to win. So let's set up the podcast, do the podcast, and then we can carry on watching the rest of SummerSlam. So we set up the podcast, and we're about to go live. And the next thing you know, we've got the TV on mute so it can't be heard on the podcast, so we can still watch it. And the next thing you know, you can see Becky Lynch come out, and I'm like, what? What's going on here? And then I'm like, Shaz, I'm sorry, we're going to have to cut the podcast. We can't go online just yet. We need to know what's going on here. And then we tuned in, and then next thing you know, Becky Lynch is the SmackDown Women's Champion. I'm like, what the heck just happened?
You know what? I have to say, we did the wrong podcast that night. That the podcast we should have done was this one, because we're trying to do a podcast on a preview, and Shaz literally lost it.
Do you know what? You know what, Shaz? You're right. We should have done a SmackDown watch along.
Yeah.
From obviously it was quite further into the pay-per-view. It was about 2 hours into it. But we should have just done it there, bro. Yeah. We should have just started it, and then we would have been like, yo, Becky Lynch has come. Yo, Becky Lynch is now the champion. And people would be like, what? What are these guys on about? Are they chatting shit?
Yeah, that was a crazy night. But yeah, anyway, going back, I mean, some bit spontaneous, like Brock Lesnar coming back. I think that was good.
I enjoyed that, you know.
I enjoyed hearing that music.
He came back, but he's not been seen since. He wasn't on SmackDown.
Yeah, I didn't see him, and that's kind of what I was hoping, that he'd be on SmackDown at some point, because I
think
love
he'll
hearing
be
his music.
next week's SmackDown, or this week, tomorrow.
Fingers
But they haven't
crossed.
announced it. And another thing I just want to quickly touch on, they announced some matches for Raw that's just gone.
Yes.
And none of those matches were actually on Raw. They announced them, right? And from what I've read, about 2 hours before the show, Vince McMahon wasn't happy with the script. He wasn't happy with the plan that they had for Raw. So he tore it up. He ripped it up and said, no, this isn't good enough. I want something better. And every idea they were throwing at him, he was just rejecting it. So he wrote it himself. So Raw that I just watched today, that was all Vinnie Mac. And it shows.
How old is the guy?
I don't know, man.
He must be in his 80s.
70s, 80s. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
He needs to retire, man. He's past retirement age.
No wonder the brand is dying, because if you could,
so to me,
let me ask you this question before you carry on.
No, go on.
What in particular? I mean, if you know about the script, did he not like? Was there something in particular?
No idea. I've no idea. I don't even know what they didn't release the script, did they? So we will never know what that script was.
Okay, now just so that that's good.
But knowing Vinnie Mac, it was something good that they.
Okay.
So I'm going to be honest with you. At the start of Raw, I actually enjoyed. Where everyone came out cutting promos. So you had Damian Priest come out, then you had Drew McIntyre and Sheamus come out to accept his open challenge for the US title. Then you had Bobby Lashley come out saying he wants to be a double champ. Then you had Randy Orton and Riddle come out saying they challenged Bobby Lashley and MVP to a match. And then fucking Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville came out and said both of these matches have now been signed. Triple threat for the US title and a tag team match for the main event. And I was happy with that, because I like that type of stuff. It was a bit of chaos. Everyone was coming out. Everyone was coming out saying something. Everyone was someone was challenging someone. It was a bit chaotic, and it was interesting. It kept me interested in that segment for however long it was, about 15, 20 minutes. I was interested in it. The match itself, the triple threat match, Damian Priest, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre, I really enjoyed it. And to have Drew McIntyre get pinned by Damian Priest is pretty big, because the guy's two-time it's not SmackDown, two-time world champion on Raw, and he's just been pinned by Damian Priest. So that shows WWE have got big plans for Damian Priest, and he is really over with the fans as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to push that.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked about this NXT logo, bro. It's like I said at the start, man. It's like a unicorn took a shit on the NXT logo.
Since we're on the show, do you want to bring it on so everyone else can?
I'd rather not, bro. I don't want to put that type of crap on a podcast.
No, but
if you can find it, bro, bring it up, bro. If you can find it, bring it up.
Let's have a look.
I haven't saved it on the computer because I don't want that type of crap on here. I mean, if you want an NXT logo, I can design you one better than that. I do a bit of graphics design. I reckon I could do something better.
I was just about to say, don't you design logos for like companies and?
Yeah. So I'd be happy to, give my services to WWE and make them a better logo than what they've made. I just make it black and gold again, and people will be buzzing, because that's the identity of NXT. Like I said.
Yeah.
Have you got the logo?
I've got multiple versions of the logo. I'm just trying to figure out a way to make it.
Save one to your PC and then share it from your PC, bro. It'd be a bit easier for you.
Yeah, I might do that. Give me a sec. Do that.
But whilst you do that, I'm gonna talk on something, bro.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna talk about our boy Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole, obviously, as everyone knows, he's after the NXT pay-per-view and SummerSlam, his contract has come to an end with the WWE. So what that means is that he is a free agent. He could potentially now wrestle for any company he wants. And that's a big problem for WWE, if you ask me, He was the face of NXT for the past 4 years. He was their biggest draw for the past 4 years. Him and the Undisputed Era were one of the reasons I continue to watch NXT. Even though they were a heel stable, I was always there to watch them. I absolutely love watching them. The chemistry they had together as a group was brilliant. I was really upset when they broke them up. That was stupid. And I don't know why they did it. Maybe if they didn't do that, Adam Cole would still be signed. Maybe he would have renewed his contract before. A part of the NXT and Undisputed Era I enjoyed, we only saw it briefly, was when they were feuding with Imperium, which was the stable on the NXT UK brand at the time. You had Undisputed Era turn up at NXT UK in Blackpool and attack Imperium, and it was absolutely amazing. The crowd were buzzing, and if it wasn't for the coronavirus, that feud would have continued on both the NXT shows, NXT UK and NXT in the USA, and it would have led to probably a pay-per-view match, and I think maybe that would have led to a 4-on-4 War Games match to finish the feud, which I would have loved, man, because Imperium are real. When they were together, or when they had all 4 members, they were really good. Walter is obviously known as the Ring General, and then you have Fabian Eichner. You had Alexandra Wolf, who was in Insanity, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Marcel Bartel, I think he's called. But
yeah,
I mean, these guys are really underrated, if you ask me, especially Fabian Eichner and the other guy. What did I just say? Marcel Bartel. Those two are really underrated. As a tag team, they're really good. And their in-ring work is very clean and smooth. And I think they're really underrated, man. But have you got the logo, Shaz? I'm going on a rant, bro. If you've got the logo, just give me a shout, innit?
Let me bring it
that
up.
logo up, bro. Bring that logo up.
Can I get a drum roll, please?
Can you hear that? There you go. Boom, there you go, people. That's a unicorn taking a shit on the NXT logo. That's the only way I can put it. Or just a bit of splash of paint here and there.
Oh my days.
Oh man, that's just mad.
I don't even know what that paint is supposed to represent. It doesn't just look like someone just dumped some paint on it. Or
it's Triple H's kids, isn't it, bro?
Nah, he can't be responsible for that, bro. Don't say that. Don't say that.
So you've got that, yeah? Right, that's the colourful logo of NXT, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and bring another logo up I want to show, man.
Let me know if you need me to stop sharing and you can bring it up.
Yeah, no, just give me a sec. I'm just going to save it and bring it up in a minute, bro. Actually, yeah, that's saved. So let me open this file, bro. You leave that on screen.
Okay.
I'm going to try and bring this up on screen as well. I don't know if it's going to let us share both of them at the same time. No, It's telling me that you're sharing. So actually, no, hold on. Well, hold on. It's fine, bro. Keep it on. Keep it on, my G. Okay. So that's the colourful logo of NXT, as we can see. Then
Are you going to share? Are you going to share?
And then you've got this.
Yeah.
The colourful logo of AEW.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show both of them because you've got that logo, which is awful with all the colours in it. Then you've got the AEW logo with the colours in the background, which looks really nice.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So the colours in the background, not actually in the actual NXT bit like they've messed up there. I mean, this looks sick. This is a professional, sleek design.
Yeah, there you go. I'm zooming in on it a little bit, bro. That looks miles more clean and crisp.
Yeah.
An NXT one, this one, it looks like it's a Nickelodeon type of logo, like for a TV channel for kids, bro.
Yeah, it does.
Is that the route that they're going? Is NXT going to be for kids? Because NXT was the brand for wrestling. That's where you had all the wrestling, the good matches, the good promos.
Maybe it's a kids show now, eh?
Who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, I just wanted to bring them both up and show everyone both of them. It's just mad. I don't understand how Vince McMahon thinks that it's acceptable to bring this logo into NXT. I mean, I'm gonna I don't even want to keep sharing it, man.
I think we should stop sharing it.
I'm stopping sharing both of them, bro. That's just a mad one. I don't understand how WWE and Vince McMahon have approved that logo as the new logo for NXT. It's going to get so much backlash, bro. I'm not even going to lie. That is going to get so much backlash that they're going to have to change it back, or they're going to have to change it again, because no fan is happy with that logo, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised if they've already changed it.
They haven't, bro. It was on Raw. They showed this logo on Raw as the new logo of NXT, and it just said "coming soon" or something. So it looks like NXT is having a whole new brand, or a new branding and marketing with all this colorful stuff. And I, for one, I'm not happy with that logo at all. There's no way you can justify changing it to that logo from the current logo that they had, the gold, black and gold one, because they've had that black and gold NXT logo since the inception of NXT about 7-8 years ago or something, however long it was, when it started as a weekly show. Sorry, not as an NXT, as in having rookies and mentors for them.
Yeah.
But that's mad. Yeah, bro, you go grab a drink, bro. You go for it. But yeah, people, I mean, let me know what your thoughts are on this logo. Let me know what you think of it. Let me think if you think it's a joke, if you like it. I mean, if you like it, I'm going to be disagreeing with you. So I don't understand how you could actually like that logo for NXT compared to the new logo that they've got. The new logo is, like I said, it looks like it's a logo for a kids TV show or something like that. It's so awful to have as the NXT logo, and I can't understand how this has been approved within the WWE as the new logo. I mean, I bet you Triple H is not happy with that logo and the NXT staff. They must be laughing at it. Even in WWE, they must be laughing at how awful the decisions are for WWE. I guarantee you, AEW will be laughing at WWE right now with the decisions that they're making. I mean, for the past couple of months, AEW has made good decision after good decision, if you ask me. They've signed Christian debuted. They had Big Show debut. They had Mark Henry debut. They've just had CM Punk debut. It's looking likely that Daniel Bryan will debut shortly in AEW, possibly on Friday at the pay-per-view. I'm not too sure. Maybe they'll wait until they're in Washington, in his hometown. Who knows? But that'll be good to see. Letting Adam Cole's contract run out, that's another bad decision. And I think that's happened because maybe he wanted to be the NXT champion, and they weren't giving it to him. And now they've lost him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he turns up on AEW Dynamite or Rampage. I mean, I'd love to see him. I would have loved to see him, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly all turn up together in AEW as they did in NXT. I mean, they all turned up at the same time, but obviously Kyle O'Reilly is still signed to WWE, and Bobby Fish has been released. So it'd be really good to see them to at least turn up in AEW, whether as a team or together. I'm not too sure, but I would love to have seen Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish turn up together. Whether it was with Roderick Strong or not, that's minor. Because the Undisputed Era was the three of them before they had Roderick Strong join. I just feel Adam Cole is going to end up in AEW. And the only bad thing about that is that he's not going to turn up with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish as the Undisputed Era or whatever name they would have had.
Yes, bro.
Yes, welcome back, bro. I was just talking about Adam Cole going to AEW and what
Yeah,
I would have wanted to see. I mean, like he turned up in NXT and attacked Drew McIntyre. He turned up with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, and that was the original Undisputed Era without Roderick Strong. And I
yeah,
was just saying, two of them are now no longer in WWE, and you've got
correct.
Kyle O'Reilly that's still there. And I think he's going to be wasted. I don't think he's going to get an NXT title run anytime soon. And I'd
No,
love to
he's
see
basically
him.
he's like you said, he's basically the last legacy of Undisputed Era,
Yeah,
and they're
him
not
and
going to
Roderick
utilize.
Strong. Roderick Strong's still there, but he's obviously in Diamond Mine, which is
Yeah,
another problem. I just think that's just a weird stable as well. And like I was saying, I would have loved to seen Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly turn up in NXT, not NXT, in AEW as a
yeah.
stable. That would have been brilliant. Adam Cole was in a stable in Ring of Honor with it was called the Kingdom. They were called the Kingdom in Ring of Honor, and I can't remember if I'm right about this, but the Kingdom originally was Mike Bennett with someone else and Mike Bennett's wife, Maria Kanellis. But then it changed to Adam Cole, Mike Bennett, and Maria Kanellis.
She used to
And
be on WWE,
yeah, Maria, you remember Maria? She was him
yeah,
and her and her husband, Mike Bennett, were in WWE, remember?
yeah,
But they've
I
been
remember.
released. They asked for their release and they've had it.
Yeah,
And I would love to see that inception of the Kingdom maybe return, whether it was in AEW or Ring of Honor or New Japan. Regardless, I would still like that because that was a good stable, and have them turn up in AEW would be good for them because they get more exposure. They'd be on a weekly global show. I think Adam Cole, the way that I would bring Adam Cole into AEW, I spoke about this with one of the guys at work because he's a wrestling fan. So you've got Adam Page right now feuding with the Elite or the Bullet Club, whichever name you want to call them, like Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Gallows and Anderson, and them lot. And the way you would do it to get the best reaction from fans would have Adam Cole turn up and side with Adam Page, help him out and help him win the world title from Kenny Omega, and then have Adam Cole turn on Adam Page to get a title shot.
yeah,
Because Adam Cole is unhappy that he was dropped from the Bullet Club. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
That
I
would be a
agree.
brilliant way to bring him in. And I mean, there's so many ways that they can bring Adam Cole in. There's just so many ways that they can do it. And for me personally, I'd like to see Adam Cole in AEW because it's a potential of a lot of good matches that he could have over there. I mean, in WWE, NXT wise, he's done everything. He's won, I think he's won the North American Championship, NXT Championship, and the tag team titles. So he's done everything in NXT. He's had an amazing career in NXT. And he won't be able to replicate that on Raw and SmackDown. No chance. Vince McMahon doesn't like people that size. Like he likes the Bobby Lashley's and the Brock Lesnar's and Roman Reigns type of people. He doesn't like the not younger, the smaller looking people like Adam Cole, Adrian Neville, who's Pac in AEW, Ricochet, and people like that. He doesn't like them type of people because they're not big, and he thinks that they're not powerful or whatever. But Pac in AEW is amazing. I think he's amazing. His last run in WWE as Adrian Neville when he was a cruiserweight champion. That was a brilliant run.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the only reason that I mean, I don't understand why they dropped the title from him when they did because he was on such an amazing run, and that's the problem with WWE. But Pac in AEW is brilliant. I think he's absolutely amazing. He's got the same gimmick, the bastard Pac, as he calls himself. He's got the Death Triangle group. He's got the Lucha Bros with him, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix. That's a brilliant trio. And it's looking likely that AEW are going to be bringing in a trios title. So it's basically 3-on-3 title. So I think they have them in another promotion somewhere. It might be Ring of Honor, maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling somewhere. And I think it's a cool idea to have a trios tag title, or whatever they call it, trios title. I think it'll be good. It's another title for someone to, it's another title for people to look forward to winning, because not everyone's going to be able to win a world title. Not everyone's going to be able to win the TNT Championship or the tag team titles. So now you've got the trios title that people can stick together as a group and go and win.
That's very true. That's very true.
Because there are a lot of trios right now in NXT, in AEW. And I think the best one for me right now is the Death Triangle: Pac, Pentagon Jr., and the Lucha Bros. I think they're a great team. And right now, Andrade is trying to cause friction between the Lucha Bros and Pac. He's trying to take them away from Pac and side with him as a trio, which I think is great, because, and I can see it happening. I can see them maybe turning on Pac and siding with Andrade eventually, because obviously all three of them are luchadors and whatnot. So I think maybe they will turn on Pac, but they are really loyal to Pac. They're really good friends. So I don't think, I mean, I wouldn't like to see it, because I'd like to see the Death Triangle together. I really like that team.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
But, that's just my opinion, bro. There's a lot more that we can talk about in WWE, AEW, and whatnot, but do you know what I mean, Chaz? I could go on about some of the stuff in wrestling that I want to see or what I want to talk about, man. But you tell me, bro, what where are we talking about next? What we're talking about next?
Well, I think I want to talk about the impact that CM Punk has had on AEW in a short time there.
Go for it, bro.
So for me, since you introduced me to the segment that he did 2 weeks ago, you would not believe the amount of hype that's gone into actually watching it. I was just checking approval ratings, and they've literally just gone through the roof. I mean, I didn't realize that his whole 15-minute segment at the end of the show, where
it was at the start of the show, bro.
So apologies, start the show.
Yeah, it was at the start of the Rampage show. When he debuted, you mean, yeah?
Yeah, correct. Sorry,
it was at the start, bro. Yeah.
So I didn't realize that entire 15-minute segment or 10-minute segment that he did, he literally just destroyed the WWE without actually calling them out. He was literally just took them apart limb by limb, and he was like, "Guys, I shouldn't have left," and that should have been a wake-up call for WWE.
Oh yeah, one of your own. WWE have had so many wake-up calls.
No, but hear me out. So I agree with that. But one of your own, one of the most influential, and I'm talking about since the days of Austin Rock, because this guy knew how to drop pipe bomb after pipe bomb.
This guy knew how to work the crowd.
Yeah, he knew how to work the crowd, and this is the problem that's missing with WWE right now. So everybody, I don't know what today's generation think of it. And if anybody's watching, please do leave your comments and let us know what your thoughts are. But when me and Shaz first watched wrestling, it wasn't so much for the fight. It was about the pipe bombs. It was about the build up to the actual fight. It was about the promos. It was about, and that's what's missing. That's what's missing. Whereas in AEW, I see they focus more on the talent and saying, look, who are the compatible matches that can make a storyline work? And right now, for example, as Shaz has said, Karrion Kross is being disrespected, not utilized properly. He's just been thrown under the bus.
Not just him though, bro. Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet as well, yeah.
Ricochet is an amazing talent, bro, and he deserves more than what he's getting in WWE. Maybe his contract runs out and he goes to AEW, but I think he's just re-signed recently.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's happy in WWE taking a paycheck and just wrestling random matches every now and then, rather than winning championships, because let's be honest, you're going to get paid more in WWE than anywhere else. Besides AEW may be able to match their wages now, but before they weren't able to.
Yeah.
So we just had a comment from Darren. wear scarlet with cross. I'll answer this one, Shaz, because I think we spoke about this last week's episode. So we were wondering why Scarlet was missing from TV, and apparently she's asked to be taken off TV due to personal reasons. So maybe she's got some personal issues mentally, or maybe with a family, or physically, whatever. She's got problems in her life, and she wanted to be away from work for a bit. So she's taken a time out from work, which it's fine. If you need to take a time out, you take a time out. You go away, you rehabilitate, you get yourself better, and come back stronger. And hopefully, whatever it is isn't that bad. Hopefully, she's back soon. Hopefully, she's by her boyfriend's side, carrying cross soon. Who knows? Who knows when she's going to be back? But I hope that does answer the question, Darren, because that's as much as I know about it. I mean, I'm not too sure what the personal issues are. I did try and look online, but everywhere I read just said personal issues. So, I mean, I don't think she wants to disclose what it is, which is fine. Her personal life is her personal life. And, it's none of our business. But saying that, I mean, we all do obviously hope that everything is okay and that she is back as soon as possible.
Absolutely. And Darren, I really appreciate the comment, and thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate the love and support.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Keep them coming in. But yeah, no, and Darren's raised a good point about the fact that something Shaz has raised. So the fact is, if Darren's noticed it, that means everyone else has noticed it as well.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
People aren't stupid. Vincing's fans are stupid, and it proves that we are a bit more in tune with what's happening, and they just need to wake up and sort it out. In fact, what? Call us on the show. We'll do your creative for you. You don't even have to pay us. We'll do it for free because we know how good it is to entertain the fans.
Do you know what? Shaz? Maybe we should do an episode further down the line where we write a show of Raw and SmackDown from start to finish, what we would have on a show.
Let's do it, bro.
So let's say we had SummerSlam, right? Just gone. No, actually, forget SummerSlam. Let's go back to WrestleMania, right? We saw the Raw after WrestleMania and how okay it was. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't the best. So let's go back to that day, Shaz, and rewrite what we would have shown on that, what we would have done on that show instead.
Okay.
Or maybe do it after SummerSlam because it's a bit more fresh. Or something like that. Maybe we could do something like that.
No, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I know this next comment from Darren's bang on. Not happy they gave Becky the title and threw Belair under the bus. 100%. That was shocking. To treat a talent like that after building her up for more than a year on NXT and on SmackDown, and then have her drop the title in 22 seconds to Becky Lynch just because Becky Lynch wanted to return. That's just stupid. Maybe you go ahead with the match between Belair and Sasha, but I believe Sasha Banks wasn't performing anyway. She's
Sasha Banks pulled out, and Mella turned up.
So that's what I'm saying. Maybe they should have had that match, Belair versus Carmella, and then have Becky Lynch come out, not even speak, and just have that moment like the Undertaker would with someone by just looking at them and or pointing at the title and saying, I want the title. Sometimes a promo like that gets more of a reaction than someone returning and actually saying something.
Yeah.
So for instance, remember when Seth Rollins returned after his knee injury? He ran into the ring and pedigreed Roman Reigns out of nowhere. And then that was it. He didn't speak. He didn't say anything. He celebrated and then he left. And that promo got such a reaction from the crowd that Seth Rollins was returning. And sometimes maybe that's the way to go instead of having her come out saying, I want a title shot, hit her with a cheap shot and then beat her. I mean, I think it was disrespectful to Bianca Belair that they did that. And maybe Bianca Belair feels like she was disrespected, bro. I mean, who knows? Maybe some of the talent must not be happy with the decisions that are made.
That's the kind of the problem. So the fact that Becky Lynch came out perfectly okay with that, perfectly okay with the reaction that she gave the crowd and whatever. But as you said, the fact is they literally agreed on the spot to have a match for the title, and in 12 seconds it finishes. Was kind of very anticlimactic because If you look at Belair, she's a face, and if you look at Becky Lynch, she's technically a face.
She's definitely a face, bro. Just
yeah,
listen to the reaction she got at SummerSlam, bro. That proves everything.
exactly.
And
A
if you
face
watch
versus
SmackDown that week's the last Friday, they tried to turn her into a heel, bro, but she was still getting a pop from the crowd.
Do you remember the comment she did? She tried to take Conor McGregor's.
Yeah, she went down that road of I would like to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, that's the Conor McGregor line.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work because only it works for him.
Yeah,
as much
I mean,
of a
I mean,
as he is.
maybe that would have worked if it was a proper heel that said it.
Yeah.
But Becky Lynch is a heel. They did that to try and get a heel reaction from her, and they got somewhat of a heel reaction. They got some boos, but she was still cheered. You can't turn someone who is so over with the crowd into a heel for no reason.
Yeah.
And this next comment is very interesting. I like this one. Do you think Roman versus The Rock at next WrestleMania? What do you guys think? 100%.
I'm good.
I mean, I'd love to see Roman Reigns hold the title to the next WrestleMania, and then obviously build up a promo with The Rock, because he's obviously family. Maybe he's the one that comes out and puts him in his place because John Cena couldn't do it. I mean, I'd love to see it. I mean, because Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, I see that going one way, that Roman Reigns is going to retain, because you can't have Brock Lesnar come back, win the title, and then just disappear and not show up on TV for months.
It doesn't make sense.
But back to the Becky Lynch part, Shaz, just one thing I wanted to mention is I'm happy. I'd be happy with. So Becky Lynch returning is obviously a big deal for the fans. The fans like her. I think, she's really over with the crowd, which is fine. So you save her return match for another event. Like, she came out and challenged Bianca Belair straight away for a match, and you've just killed it with two birds with one stone. You've killed her debut and her return match for no reason, unplanned. I think if she came out, like I said, after Bianca Belair beat Carmella and challenged her to a title at the next pay-per-view at Extreme Rules, and then maybe have a match lead, no matches on SmackDown, just promos from Becky Lynch, and then her first match back after 12 months or something, on the pay-per-view, maybe that brings in more pay-per-view buys. But this is WWE, and they like to waste things.
Yeah.
Yeah, this does make sense, this next comment, Shaz. Didn't they just bring her back because of CM Punk joining AEW? Yeah, they wanted to do something major. They brought back Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar in the same night just because AEW brought back CM Punk into wrestling the night before. And I think it was just a panic way of WWE bringing her back and Brock Lesnar at the same time. Maybe they had plans for Brock Lesnar to come back, but the Becky Lynch return seemed very, very sketchy and very rushed to me.
Yeah.
They brought her back and they did a shock moment that she won the title within 22 seconds just to take the heat away from CM Punk. But you have to understand, CM Punk, the fans in WWE have been chanting his name for 7 years. The fans want to see CM Punk back. Becky Lynch, yes, she's over with the crowd, and they did, they want to see her back, but that was the wrong way of doing it.
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar, the way Brock Lesnar came back, I was happy with. He did what I thought Becky Lynch should have done. He came back at the end of the match. He didn't say a word. He buzzed off the crowd, and he obviously made his intentions known to Roman Reigns that he wants the title. Yeah. And then after the show went off, he hit John Cena with a couple of German suplexes and an F5 after the show went off, which is brilliant because that's what he does, isn't it? He F5s people. He takes people to Suplex City.
Yeah, we love to see it.
Yeah, this next comment, bro. They should bring back Stone Cold Steve Austin somewhere bigger than anyone in WWE and AEW. 100% he is. I don't think he wants to wrestle again because of the surgery he's had on his neck. He just, I think he's happy with his career in wrestling and what he's done and what he's doing now. I think he's just happy with it.
Some people know when to walk away, and people like Austin, I would say Rock, but he's come back a few times. People like Austin walked away at the right time because he left his mark and he said, "Listen, boys, time for me to go and time for
Yeah,
new people to come
exactly,
on."
bro. Exactly.
People
There's
like
some people that know how
Goldberg,
to
people
leave a
like
legacy behind.
people like Goldberg or
He's
John
ruined his
Cena.
legacy. Goldberg's ruined his legacy. Ric Flair, to an extent, shouldn't have wrestled up until he did.
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan, I don't even want to talk about Hulk Hogan. I can't stand him. I've never seen the hype behind Hulk Hogan. Never.
and that's something I knew. I learned something I knew I'm learning today because I did not think that.
I've never seen the hype behind Hulk Hogan, bro.
Okay.
He's got what he has. The fans are behind him, which he's been. I don't even know how to explain it, man. He's what's good about Hulk Hogan? To me, nothing, bro. He has the fans behind him. He has a few catchy catchphrases, Hulkamaniacs, and all that crap. He has this weird finishing move, which is a leg drop that finishes people like Shawn Michaels off, who's kicked out of 1,000 leg drops in his career.
Yeah.
But he can't kick out of one from Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? If he had a better finisher, maybe I'd be behind it, bro. But every time he's won a match, it's because of a leg drop, which other wrestlers have used and so many times.
This next one's interesting. It's quite debatable, actually. Well, I suppose it does make sense.
Yeah, I've just seen that. You can say that about the Undertaker as well. Yeah, I believe Undertaker should have stopped wrestling after he lost to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have then gone on and got beat by Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and then beat Bray Wyatt and AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I think he should have retired after his match with Brock Lesnar and called it a night. But I get why he wanted to obviously
You know
come
what?
back and show
I'm
people
gonna
he
go
still
one
got it,
step
bro.
further. I wish he had ended after the end of era fight because that was an epic classic that I still love to this day.
Yeah.
And it irritates me because that was such a legendary classic. Then 29 and 30 were just like letdowns. I mean, I think was it 29 where he fought Shane McMahon?
Yeah, the one before Brock Lesnar.
That
I'll be back in 2 minutes, bro. 2 minutes.
Yeah, go for it.
You carry on talking about the Undertaker because I know you've got a lot to talk about him, bro.
So that for me is like, okay, why are you even bothering to fight Shane McMahon? He's a nobody. And then on top of that, when he fought Brock Lesnar, although I enjoyed the hype and the build up to that, as Darren said, completely agree with him. He did go on a bit too long. He should have left after that. I mean, then him coming back and winning, was it against Bray Wyatt, then losing to Roman Reigns? Again, don't understand the deal behind that. Just to me, when I watched his documentary, The Last Ride, which was actually a fantastic finale. If no one's seen it, definitely go check it out. It's a great documentary. But as Shaz has said, I think for me, I love The Undertaker. And I think it was just ruined by the fact that, in fact, you know who I blame? Vince. I blame Vince.
100%. I don't blame The Undertaker for what happened. I blame Vince and The Undertaker because The Undertaker could have said no. The Undertaker, right? I get the reasoning behind why he got beat by Roman Reigns, okay? I'm not saying I agree with it, but I understand the logic behind it, right? They've tried to build Roman Reigns up as the next face of the WWE after John Cena, right?
Yeah.
And the way you do that is by having him beat some of the legends.
Mm-hmm.
But beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania is not the right way to do it because Roman Reigns got a lot of heat after that. And I don't think that helped with his push. So that it's just one of them things, bro. But I do need to get going now, bro. I'm gonna have to cut this short, bro.
No, that's fine. I was gonna say it's been quite a long episode, but absolutely been a pleasure to have everybody on board. Thank you very much to Darren and Ryan for your comments.
Yes, everyone. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Appreciate the love and support as always. Our official Facebook and Twitter are at the bottom of the screen, and our personal ones are just here. So hit us up. Let us know if it's anything you want to talk. Anything you want to hear us talk about WWE wise, football wise, whatever wise, we'll get it out. But until next time, people, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.
Take it easy, guys.
Too sweet.